Alright, so I'll be showing you how to fold my Origami Mario here. And I'm also going to make this a little bit different too while I'm getting this paper set up. I also want to show off how I also folded the model at the same time because I kind of folded pretty fast here, but I'm going to make this a little bit different from what I'm about to talk about here. So so first of all, this is the second version of Mario here, and I had a previous video like some time ago where I like folded a new Mario, like actually a new Mario actually on camera. And so I think I think that was pretty cool, I guess, but like this time around though, I actually wanted to fold a Mario. So what I learned from origami designs, especially from when I did YouTube, was that I wanted to create designs that were going to be memorable, at least in a standard where I can at least remember the design. If I remember the design like pretty well, I mean, I had some stuttering points here and there when I was trying to fold this design on camera here, but the main thing though is that I was able to remember the base more fully. I remember it being in a grid of 10 by 10, which is basically what I'm setting up now. So first of all, you're basically setting it up like this. And yeah, you're gonna use like kind of uses similar folding pattern here where you use that horizontal edge there and then have that corner hit the corner. And you're gonna like pinch this one part. So I'm not flattening it completely, but just making that mark there. So then I can fold it up like this using that one corner as a reference point. And this will help me set up to set up the grids up for a 5 by 5 unit. I think Mario's actually folded from or no, not 5 by 5, 10 by 10. But I think he's folded from 20 by 20 actually, with all since he gets narrowed. But that's basically the reference point. Yeah, so I'm creating a reference points now for like folding the legs. I mean, obviously he's gonna need those. Uh, I think, yeah. So definitely, I think this was kind of like basically where I started off with the design. So when I first started this newer version of Mario, rather than doing the head first, which usually that seems to be the case to get started on because that's the most important um part of the model. However, I started with the legs because I really wanted to get like leg and arm flaps correct. So I wanted that there. That was kind of like the main goal. But I think I think that actually worked out pretty well, as you could tell. I mean, obviously I have this up for a reason now. The I mean, yeah, like for those who don't really know about like the techniques I use, like probably won't be able to understand like what I'm trying to do here. But yeah, basically I'm trying to do from like the most important part, or at least I pick a part I want to focus on and then branch it out. Like so kind of like making like tree branches, of course. So yeah, so as you can see here, I mean, if you obviously know what's going on, you should be getting the legs here. So next I'm trying to create reference points for the arms. The way I did it for this model was kind of weird. I was honestly trying to, I don't know how to explain it though, but basically this is the way I did it. There's probably a better way I could have done, but this is kind of all I did. Also, the camera for some reason kind of cropped off a little bit. I kind of had the camera way too zoomed in. I'll have this a lot better at some point, I swear. But without my complaints, though, I think the model itself turned out pretty good. I actually turned him into Luigi after I finished recording, which you could, of course, do that. He's actually easy to do, but I'll explain about it later on. But yeah, obviously, this is just the arms here that I'm trying to create here. I'm creating the kind of that little gap there, and yeah, you'll definitely see that with like whenever I do like. I mean, I guess a lot of designers do this with like adding fingers, where you kind of have like that little graft on the top. For those who don't know, like what I mean with grafting, I mean, yeah, like I said, I think if you want to understand all these topics, Robert J. Lang's Origami Design Secrets is by far like I think explains like what I'm trying to say pretty well. Although I learned many other techniques from like just from like instructions and crease patterns and like try to understand like the whats and the hows, and also just through trial and error, which honestly I when I folded this Mario design, I went with trial and error is why that's how I roll. I roll with trial and error. So like I think I've folded this design like maybe 5 times, the fifth time probably being like the I think the fifth time or the fourth, maybe the fourth time was when I like folded the Mario that I have uploaded it on as a short video. And yeah, this is the basically the fifth fold, the one where I try to get onto here now. But this is yeah, but so far this is pretty good. What I'm trying to do here next is add like another like big graft like so like with the legs here. I think this is kind of another like for those who kind of understand crease patterns like origami in general. I well complex origami like this, I think you will understand where I'm basically trying to add like a center graft here where basically it's gonna like I don't know how to explain it, but like basically it's gonna help with the give like a better shaping on Mario's body instead of having like something that's like a little bit less neat. So, and that's something to note there. Uh, so yeah, so I think yeah, there's some pause moments. Like obviously, I'm trying to like remember the design. Obviously, I try like jump right into doing the design, which, to be honest, now that like this whole format's pretty slow, like I am kind of like a little bit have some odds and ends with like how well I'm gonna be actually performing this pretty good. But I think you're obviously seeing this here. I'm adding more like adding more creases to the arm flaps for the more narrow parts. The in the 22.5 angle. And what I mean with 22.5, I mean like when you use from I'm trying to explain. I think it's when you use for, like like those measuring sticks you use to like get the angles of like 180, 195 and so on. Like yeah, like you're like basically the burr base you use for the origami crane, obviously a famous one. You it is in a 22.5-degree angle, all of it, and with some 45% degree angles. So yeah. And yeah, so right here you can see I already started getting to the legs. I used a little bit of box pleating. Box pleating is basically like using these I don't know. I need to like a full maybe do a full tutorial of this someday of how all of these work. There's definitely origami videos who well, if you want to know about these techniques I mentioned, I think if you search them up, I think you can find them. But I use box pleating on the legs there. And already like I usually have this tendency where I should have added more creases to the model, but I ended up basically jumping right in. I mean, obviously the model in total from just the standard paper like took around like 50 minutes here, which is honestly I could have gone a little bit slower, but I just wanted to see how like this format would work like pretty quick. Also just to see if the technology works and all. But enough of that though. I did have to unfold the model because that one crease line there was pretty important because that's supposed to I created that line there just to help with like the separations or at least the gaps between the arm and the leg. I really wanted to be sure I was getting it right. But yeah, so I'm just starting to create like the flaps for the arms and legs. I didn't worry about a crease pattern for the head at all. In fact, this design doesn't really need a complex crease pattern for Mario's head. I mean, at least that's how I did it. So, which is pretty good. But alright, yeah. I don't know, yeah, so I might fold a little bit off camera just because I do need to look at the design. If I had a second camera, that would be pretty helpful, but I'm kind of sick with my phone right now. At least the phone I have is pretty good, except when I upload to Google Drive, I don't know. Right. So, what else to say? Yeah, so what's going on here? I guess, because I guess the important thing of what I'm trying to do with this design is obviously I want to keep like the shape being neat. And so I think using box pleating with the combination of just the 22.5 design, actually it's more easy if I call it the bird-based system, just because like again, like those 22.5 angles are used as like on like the origami crane, and the base is used on is traditionally called the bird base. You can actually see that little resemblance, like that one part there uses that bird base shape right at that part there. So I think that's why I want to call it. Seth Friedman also calls it the bird based system. I mean, obviously, I got that from him, and I think I'm going to call that from now on, just because I think like 22.5 is just going to be a little bit more, I guess, for most casuals, just like, what are you talking about? Like, you're using math, and I don't like it. I mean, it's not like I minded, but whatever. So, right here was actually kind of like, so what I should have done here was that I'm actually was supposed to stretch the arms first. I actually went back to using this technique, like how I did in my Origami Foxy, and that's obviously classic from me. But yeah, so I forgot to like stretch the arms out. I was for some reason skipping steps, I guess. And so at some point I kind of noticed that that was kind of like one of the mistakes I've done. I made a couple mistakes when trying to like get the footage of this, but I'm hoping that like especially for those who are like really can fold the design, can actually fold it, or at least it may seem a little bit straightforward. But I might be saying that because it's just me. So yeah, so I think yeah, I kind of went on with this. The next model. So I guess this is another thing I forgot to mention in the beginning, and is that I'm actually so I wanted to do this before when I first started, well, when I started getting back on YouTube again, like uploading videos, like when I did my original Mario video, I wanted to, you might notice the title where it was like number one character, Smash character Mario. I was trying to do a Smash Brothers series. I really wanted to try and fold like all the Super Smash Ultimate characters as like an ambitious project, but I for some reason didn't get into that, probably because I mean, I don't know. I guess I was just wasn't really feeling too well about the situation, but now I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I mean, as I said before, like thanks to YouTube, I think I've actually become a lot better at folding now. Oh yeah, so here's the stretch there. So for those who've seen my original Origami Foxy view, like several years, several months back, that's kind of like the stretch I did. I decided to like use that trick again. I think it's very helpful for especially a lot of these humanoid designs. And so that's kind of why I went with here. So I don't know, I just needed to point that out very quick. But I'm also trying to explain here. But anyway, so I want to go back to doing that project again. So the next character, I want to do like each character down the roster. And so the next character is going to be Donkey Kong. I folded him like had a design of him like several like well no not several few 2 years back, I think, that long now really. And with this I and okay, basically the Donkey Kong base I had was actually something I can easily remember and hopefully not make too much shattering mistakes on. But yeah, so like right here, back to the design here, I get the technique, I didn't skip this step this time. That's what I was supposed to do. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm I really got to do better with my Donkey Kong one. But anyways, so I get like the arm flaps. So basically, I'm almost done with the base. I just need to narrow some of the flaps more. So right here, I think what I'm doing is that I'm going to narrow the leg flaps more now because they're obviously pretty big. Or obviously as a result, of course, I mean, having a wide base, of course, is really nice because then you can add like, use kind of those layers to kind of use like extra details. Like I use the, like especially the side layers. I mean, some of the sides where those sides which would have been unnecessary, I use them to create the bun details on Mario's torso or yeah, his uniform in general. because I obviously wanted to get those. Uh, and I use, yeah. So once again, this technique is like a lot different. This is actually easier to fold than like my previous Mario design. The more I think about it, the previous Mario design was kind of like a it was kind of a hodgepodge to me. Like it felt like in order to like remember the design, I had to unfold it, and that would have not been that fun. But yeah, this new design was so much nicer, so much neater to fold. I mean, easily it's just a lot more foldable. So yeah, so this is again, yeah, it's just again, this is me just narrowing the legs still, but that's definitely probably the most proud part I had with the design when I tried to do this. So yeah, so overall, again, I'm really happy about the design. I'm really happy that most of you guys are seeming to enjoy seeing these consistent uploads of these origami designs, and I really hope this new format will work a lot better. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to get better at doing this, but I think everybody else can say that, so I won't go too deep into that because let's talk about them all more. So the legs are now narrowed. Uh, so obviously, I can't remember what I was doing exactly with all these. Yeah, so right here, I wanted to create a pleat because the torso obviously is pretty long. And so what I'm trying to do here is a pleat. Well, eventually I'm gonna pleat the torso up, and that's gonna be used to add the flaps for the buttons on Mario's torso. Now there was also another mistake too that I had with this design where I narrowed the arms, but like I narrowed them too much, and the issue I have with that is that it made the cap pretty narrow, which I obviously don't want, especially in this design. So I had to be sure I get that. I actually had to look right here. I needed to look at my Origami Mario very quick, like just to see just remember what I needed here, but like what I needed to do with the arms, and I kind of like sticked with like doing that narrowing thing anyways. But there was a quick solution I did with the cap anyways that didn't like disrupt the model or anything. So even with that kind of results, I mean, I'm obviously not making too much huge mistakes, but this is all good. But these otherwise, yeah, I can at least keep folding it here. So yeah, so I'm gonna go into doing open sinks on the arms here, like so. I mean, kind of an obvious technique. Yeah, so like there it is right there. Yeah, so overall my plans once again, yeah, so this is supposedly going to be like a big project. I really want to try this out. I really I mean, I hope I can do well with it. I mean, trying to pull all the Smash Ultimate characters from the rosters probably going to be a little bit of a. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be much of a challenge, but like I said, definitely more of a project, which I think will be really fun that way. In general, I kind of need that kind of like series in this channel, especially, and also just so I'm not like running out of like too much ideas on what to fold. So that'll be fun. And I actually do want to do something like re-uploads of like with my Link, my Kirby design. I know if I've done origami how to fold videos with them, but I think I'm not entirely happy with them. I mean, obviously the origami Kirby video was and this is still me narrowing the arm, by the way. But back on track though, the origami Kirby video is like my very first video I've ever done, and so it's a little bit outdated, like based on like its performance wise. I mean, it's not too bad in general, but just like I kind of want to like be able to redo it again. But also just for the project series, I kind of need to do that. Uh, and also yeah, also to do the same thing with the Link design, even though he wasn't folded on YouTube not too long ago, but I kind of just wanted just again still be able to refold him for the series, especially with this kind of hopefully this kind of format here. And overall with the format of what I'm trying to do here, I don't know if it's gonna be like a how to fold video at this point. I'm not really sure. Maybe for some, it's at least works still as like a guidance on like how I'm folding the design here. I mean, like I said though, I think I guess my regret with this is that I keep folding off camera. I wish I zoomed out more. So I gotta be aware of that next time. But anywho, so the arms are narrowed. So the cap on the back is pretty narrowed as you can see, but I kind of didn't worry about it right now. For now, I just wanted to get right into the torso, but also with this design though, I went for detailing the legs first because I obviously wanted to see like just like its final size to be sure it fits with the whole design. So with Mario's feet here, I use a similar trick. Well, first I need to narrow this part, obviously, but I used a similar trick to fold Sonic's my origami Sonic's shoes, where I kind of like pull the flap out, have that kind of triangle. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's a triangle, but basically like this here. I think I explained it a little bit better. Wait, no, because I don't have the origami Sonic part 2. Oh yeah, so about the part 2 video, I might ask that in a bit, but well, let me explain it now. Yeah, but I'm actually not sure if I'm going to do a part 2 on the origami Sonic because the details are honestly like pretty straightforward after the base, in my opinion. I mean, I guess the part would be is that you just got to outside reverse fold the arms for those two middle flaps to peer out, and then I think you're good to go. And then you're like stretching the hair down and whatever. But I don't want to get off topic, so that's kind of important for me to note about that. Okay, so yeah, so there's the feet design there. It worked. Yeah, obviously that's my favorite way to fold the feet. I had a different style many years back when I did some of my original Mario designs. I called this Mario 2.0 because it was like just to make sense of like the ones I uploaded on YouTube. But I had like many other origami Mario designs a long ways back, and and I had like a way of doing the feet where it kind of like made the like used way too much more of the paper. That folding this trick I did, which is a lot better for the feet. It doesn't take up too much room, and it just looks a lot better and neater. All right, so right here, this is just to round the belly necks, just do those spread squashes. And then, yeah, right there, there's the pleat. So this is what I'm going to do with the bun here. Although, I forgot one thing here, and it's that in the back. Oh, yeah, so, like, right here, though, you can see, like, where I'm going with how I fold, like, the details for Mario's uniform here. And right here, I'm gonna pull this tip out. And basically, I just want to make that one flap become more of an actual middle flap. So I can open squash that one middle part to open squash a button. Which is like the most appropriate way to do this. Yeah, so I'm doing it on both sides here. Again, some more off-camera folding. Again, I really think I can do better with this. Yeah, but here it is right there. So yeah, so I have the sides ready, and yeah, I love how shaping the body works in this. I think it's like one of my favorite like body detail shaping in any of my designs so far. I think it just ends up working out like really well. Like it ends up getting like that body shape that Mario has where he's not like of course gonna have like abs or whatever, but like almost have this kind of like this round-ish, like, belly kind of thing, which at least from the images I saw, that's like how his body looked, and so that's kind of why I went with there. Yeah, so here's me doing like the spread squashes on the buttons, which yeah ends up working really well with this is with this design now. And also those other two corners, like where my thumbs are right there, well, not anymore, but like before, those will have like, yeah, so like right here, I'm actually gonna unwrap them behind. I think this is also really cool too, because it gives like that detail that makes Mario look like he's wearing his overall. And so using that kind of trick there was like really cool, I think. If I'm doing it, oh wait, I don't think I am. Oh yeah, so like right here, yeah. So I'm moving up. Yeah, so basically, I'm going from toe to head for this design. So yeah, I'm getting around the neck. Oh yeah, I am doing the unwrapping now. Okay, but that's basically what you do there. And then I'm doing just some pinches there, just like pulling up this middle flap to create Mario's chin and mouth. Now I do mouths like Eric Joyzel's way. I don't think I said his name right, but um where you basically create like this triangle middle flap, you open squash it, and then you have like those two corners inside reverse folding, gives you that kind of mouth when you shape it up. This time I went with a different way with the mouth design that actually works a lot better for Mario in general, where I kind of create these two pleats up and down from each other. This I remember like having this, like using this kind of technique to create eyes for the one Origami Yoda from that one book that I read as a kid, which honestly got me more into origami when I think about it. But anyway, so I use that technique and just to create the mouth. So again, yeah, like all this layer arrangement is like pretty weird. I mean, obviously I kind of did it without setting up a crease pattern ahead of time because it felt like all I needed to do is just pick a middle flat. I mean, pick a certain point and then stretch it. That's what I do. I kind of play. I don't play dirty on origami sometimes, but I kind of go with the idea of what makes more sense to me. Okay, so now I'm getting into the hands now. I guess I just wanted to be sure like they're going to be in the right length. Sometimes they appear a little bit too short. If the hands appear too short, then that might be because you folded them down too much. Man, you can't even see how they're being folded. I guess the camera doesn't really capture that well. Again, I guess it's just because it's zoomed in too much and I keep having to look at the model. But right here, like I used pleats to create like the finger details because for every Mario design, I didn't worry about like adding like individual flaps for the fingers. I just kind of like went with bit of a more sensible way where like Mario or Luigi has him fisted up. Like yeah, he has his fist, and that's why I did for this design, of course, with the thumb down. Like yeah, like he's gonna like punch a block. So that's definitely why I went with there. Now, yeah, so now I'm gonna be working on the other arm. You also might have, I don't know if you noticed yet, but there's also like two um flaps on the back of Mario. They're just kind of like dangling behind him that have no point in this design whatsoever. Although I think when you look at it, I think you can use them if you want to add more. Like if you do some box plane techniques, you can use them to those two flaps behind Mario. Like you could kind of see him a bit there. You could kind of like stretch him and maybe add more details to Mario's hands, I guess, or at least like maybe add some more fingers if you want. But I kind of didn't really worry about them. I mean, I didn't really want to complicate that part too much. So I just didn't really worry about it. Okay, yeah, so now I'm going back to the head. I bounced back and forth with folding this design, but right here I'm gonna like basically, yeah, like pinch it like that. A lot of pinching for these here. This isn't this model is something not to deal with. Like this is honestly a super complex design. Kind of, I don't know. But I mean, it's nothing for me to brag about, but just in the sense where, like, I guess for many, I mean, I guess obviously for many, this wouldn't make too much sense. But how I create the mustache is that for the mustache, I create like basically bigger. I literally created bigger middle flaps here, and yeah, how I actually did the details for Mario's head was actually pretty good here. I think I think overall like the whole design. This is actually one of my favorite designs where I feel like it'd be fun to refold because um all of the details I had to do for Mario's body, and his head, all of that was like really cool, I think. Like yeah, it was like pretty cool here. So right here, this is like yeah, when I noticed like hey, the cap flap is like pretty short. So literally all I did was just like stretch that part out and then like flying it, being sure nothing is like being ruined and all, and just called it good. So I there is a more proper way to do it, to be honest, like making that open sync like more wide enough for it than like when you do the like when you fold the arm up, you would like do some extra open sinks on the arm, but not the head. Oh goodness, did my phone turn off a bit? Seriously. uh, right. Sorry, I had an issue there. So back to this. Yeah, but anyways, but what I said before was probably a better way for this design in general, and yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. So with the nose here, I kind of went back to an old folding technique I used for Mario's eyes and nose, and it happened to work out like really well with this design in general. So this is kind of why I went with there, where I did that spread open sync on that tip of the nose there. That seems like an obvious technique. And then I did like some inside reverse folds and swivel folds around the eyes. And as for the mustache here, I like pulled this one layer down just to get like the underneath the mustache. Now, obviously I guess I didn't mention it, but the trickiest part about folding, trying to get this design to work, was the head. Because when I used this base for the first time, the head was pretty good, but it was way too big for the whole design, and it was really silly looking. So I kind of went with like being able to like make it a lot smaller, focus on making the arms a little bit longer, and that's why I went with this design. I mean, obviously I went with trial and error just to get like how do I fold the body, and the result was just like going with the more straightforward box pleating plus 22 point. I mean, burr base system technique is what I went with, and so yeah, overall it made folding the design again a lot neater, a lot easier than the previous version that I had on YouTube a couple months ago. But back to the design now. This just be with folding the mustache. I promise the Donkey Kong video will be a lot better than how I'm trying to do this here. Like, I swear, this could have gone so much better. Yeah, so this is again just, I guess simply this is just a lot of like detailing on the mustache. I mean, at least now I am. Yeah, like the mustache flaps are like pretty long now, and that's actually kind of cool that they are, because at least that does mean that I could fold like potential designs. Like I could probably reuse the base for well, Wario would have to be a different base. I feel like Waluigi would work well with this base. He just needs to be like very skinny, and then he would have the nose flap and everything. The nose would just be different. But I think Wario would need I think a different base. It could be a little bit similar to this, but I'm not really sure. But I could definitely do those kind of like clone foldings, pretty much like Echo Fighters, kind of, or semi Echo Fighters. Man, Echo Fighters are weird in Smash, to be honest. But uh, yeah, then I get that kind of same result with this. And to me, it's like when I get to the Fire Emblem characters, I feel like I'm literally going to create a base where I get a sword flap and a cape, and then that's all I need. And details for the head. I'll just create just one base for all the Fire Emblem characters and call it good. I mean, I think even Robin would use the same base, and like, it would just be so dumb. I'm not sure about Byleth though. That depends on like what I'm gonna make him wield. But yeah, just, I feel like I'm gonna do that maybe as a joke, but also it would just simply work in general too. But I think this whole thing would probably be pretty fun for me. I mean, as long as I can enjoy and like it, then it's gonna be good enough for me to upload these on YouTube continually, which I will be slow with doing, but I will get them on when I have the total chance. It will take a longer time to get them uploaded now. I mean, obviously, I just need to get used to this better format where I'm doing like side commentary recording here, if that's what you call it. So yeah, so we're almost done with the design. This is just like doing the fancy snancy details. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to get the head here. Like I said, after recording this footage, I just like did different details to fold a Luigi, so I literally don't need to do. Oh my gosh, no, I should have had do not disturb. Uh, but yeah, like Luigi is literally just like narrowing the head a little bit more because with Mario, I crimped his head down a little bit to get 3D effect. But then with Luigi, on the other hand, I like basically just squashed the head left and right together and maybe narrowed the body just a little bit. Yeah, like obviously you can use the same base as this to fold an origami Luigi, which I think most people like Luigi better than Mario. I don't know. I don't know. It's always up for debate in general. So yeah, anyways, I guess the recording will be close to wrapping up now. Yeah, I got like about like 5 minutes, 4, 3. So I guess for some closing remarks, I guess for those who decide to stick around here. Oh yeah, one last thing here. This is how I fold the ears for Mario. I just use those edge layers. Again, you can't see them most often. Yeah, but like I said, this is just kind of like my first video, like using this kind of different format now with side commentating and getting this kind of footage. Um, I'm not afraid for feedbacks. Believe me, I love feedbacks when it can help improve these videos. And I think overall, I'm starting to get a little bit better at this. But like I said, with this kind of new change I'm doing here, yeah, I kind of need to like get more used to this, and the more I do it, the better I will get. I feel like that's gonna happen. But overall, hey, I think it's always cool when you can see a Mario design here. Oh yeah, one last thing I do here, I do this open sync on this one layer on the arm, tries to get rid of it, and makes the arm looks a lot better. So just makes that there. But yeah, yeah, the mall looks really good. And by the way, I am gonna use just printer paper for all these Smash character designs. I mean, man, my hair keeps getting in the way. I didn't know that's what it was doing. But uh yeah, I will be using standard paper for all the Smash characters because otherwise I'd be very lucrative on like other types of paper. Yeah, I hope you like my hair. I honestly, it's actually not good. I don't do my hair good, so yeah. So I guess I'll say again, and I'm just positioning Mario's arms the way I want him to. I hope you like this video. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really care because it's my first time doing this setup once again. And and I look forward to doing these kind of stuff next time. The next time I'll be doing Origami Donkey Kong, I'll be folding down the roster just to get this. The Donkey Kong model I'll try to do a little bit better at with like my camera positioning here and and just those other things. And he also might be a little bit of a shorter duration of time to fold as well compared to Mario here. But anyways, yeah, so here's the final design of Mario. I mean, I'm still gonna call this a how to fold video, but anyways, yeah, so here he is now. I mean, he turned out really well with this overall. Like I said, he eventually turned into Luigi, but but yeah, but I kind of like, since I'm doing Mario here, that's what I went with. And yeah, so I hope you like this one, and I'm gonna call it good for now on this. And yeah, let me wait for a little bit to say it at the right time. But yeah, but I'm almost at 50 subscribers, which I don't really like to mention that right now, but I do want to say, yeah, and yeah, voila, here he is. Here's the Mario design here that I have, and yeah, pretty. And I guess some final shapings there. Yeah, like crimping the head down there. But that's Origami Mario, guys. I really hoped you liked this one. And yeah, I think please give me the time needed. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.